officer is focused on the other folks. Now he sees you walking up. He ain't paying attention to what that officer's saying. So now you coming up, bang, he's snapping you back. What that other officer should have done, said, no, hey man, I asked him to go up here and calm him down. Somebody's got to be in charge and make that happen.
I said the same too. I said, let me come up there and calm my son down.
I asked one of the other officers, and I'm gonna tell you what he told me. He goes, I don't think any of our officers told him to do that. He says he was going up there trying to take his son from us. I'm just telling you, that was one.
I know you didn't just say try to take my son from you. Is that what you just said?
That's what I was told. That's what I was told.
Because I was on the other side.
Did I say I don't bite my tongue that I was telling you?
You gonna sit and tell me your officer said I'm gonna try to take my son from you?
Hey, the officer that told.
Did I just tell you that?
Sweat.
I'm just telling you what he told me. And that was another, not the officer, it was another completely different officer. He goes, no, he was trying to lynch his son from this and the other. But here's
the word.
That doesn't mean I believe it. It doesn't mean I believe it.
But you don't believe that.
But here's what the point was, and this is my point. Here's another person over here with the crowd. He sees you walking up. He probably already has a fixed thing in his mind about what's going on. He sees you walking over there. So now he's making an assumption what you're trying to do. So he's telling me what his assumption was. Okay? The fact is, like I said, you pointed at the officer when we were in the car and you told him, and I witnessed what you told the officer. It's just like it was left. There's no further there. You're the one that told me to go over and deal with my son. And he goes, and you kept grabbing me every time I went. So I know that that's a fact. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. But the only reason I brought that other statement up.
Correctly, he didn't disacknowledge it. Right. He didn't say yes, you did, no, you didn't.
But and I'm saying, and it's not that officer I'm talking about. It's a completely different officer that is trying to tell me that you were trying to take your son from the police. And I know that's not true because you already talked to the other cop who acknowledged that he had told you.
That's right.
So you understand what I'm saying? So here, when we talk about chaos, it's what's in the mindset of some versus what is in the mindset of others.
But isn't there can't be a mindset, there's a training.
No, we're talking human behavior now.
No, but you're supposed to be trained as an officer. Human behavior. You're supposed to be trained as an officer.
So what's the likelihood?
The word is failing. They're failing that training.
There's still human behavior. Certain things that you can train as much as you want to. Hey, bro, let me be very straight here, okay? You were up there with us at the commission hearing when they wanted to hear from the community about working with the police department and doing community things. And when that reverend stood up there, the Samoan reverend, and the first thing he said, and I want to make this very plain, folks, so that you get that understanding when we talk about philosophies and mindsets. This minister stood up there, he's Samoan, said that he had been raised here, but he says, you know, when I look at our Samoan brothers and sisters out here in these inner city communities, the problem is they're too busy acting like blacks and other Latinos. You remember he said that?
Say that.
And I took him on about that. You know why? Because what he did, he took a label and put a label on us based on stuff that, like what just happened, and said that was black culture. He says they're emulating black culture. That's not black culture. That's street. That is anything else but black culture. Okay, I don't let anybody define chaos as being who I am and my heritage. Okay, but part of the problem is in the mindset of some, and that was a minister. Okay. Now, he's been trained in the Bible.
Unproperly trained.
But he's trained in the Bible.
He's supposed to be.
And thank you. So now you see my point. You can talk about training.
Right.
Training still doesn't necessarily affect the mindset of how you live your life outside of the uniform.
You're right. But
do you understand what I'm saying?
Though, when you're in control, as the police are, like I said, you guys have the upper hand because I'm going to jail for a mistake that you've done. And I have to sit and wait, go to court, and go through all that process. Well, y'all out here free with no problem, but I got to go to jail. I got to sit in 850. I got to go back and forth to court to wait and see if they're going to dismiss my case. I'm being unjustice because of a mistake that you guys done, and I get nothing done to me. But maybe say that I didn't commit the crime. So, 6 or 7 months.
The other thing that I will say is this.
Let's see if it's charged. What's the charge?
Yeah, I'm going to do that so you can get out of here. And the other thing I'll say is this. Okay, there's also another part of this legal system where, hey, you seek to get monetary restitution for your pain and suffering. Okay, and those are things, I don't know. I never say never. You know, like I said, if the evidence shows what you believe, like you say, you got video, you got this, that, and the other, it can definitely happen, okay? It can definitely happen, but I'm saying you need to take every recourse that you need to take regarding this case and do what you gotta do.
But see, the other part of that is community policing. Now, if you would know this young man, as the community officers, you say you got housing officers, so the housing officers would identify with the family. Here's a lady working
I
hard
work for housing. I
for
work
housing, cleaning up that
The
property.
police come in our office all the time, but who's doing this and who's done that? Okay? They don't see my son, they don't see us around here all the time. They know my son don't do nothing like that. He doesn't carry that.
Do they know your son?
They should know. They know me. They wait to me out. They know my son coming out my house. They've seen my son.
Okay,
I know these police and all of them, they come by. They wait to me all day long.
right.
My son be right beside me half the time, so I don't,
And
they know
I'll say
he's not
this,
one of those
Harris,
out there.
in theory, it is absolutely if you know, and just as, I tell you, until we had that other dialogue before, Joseph wouldn't speak to me. Now he'll acknowledge me openly out there where we at.
Right.
But we also have to break the culture of, and this is another philosophy of mine. In order for a cop to know criminal behavior, he has to know the normal behavior of a neighborhood, which means that we have to have a dialogue and a relationship.
Around there all day
But then
long,
I
they should.
told fellas, how am I supposed to get to know you if every time I walk by, you don't want to say, hey, I'll acknowledge you, hey,
But
good
check
morning,
it out.
gentlemen.
Check it out.
So I'm saying,
You know what you're saying? Just say,
there has to be a start point.
So you're saying such thing as racial profile?
say what?
No,
Is that what
me-
you're saying? Racial profile?
To me,
I don't
If you know the background of a person.
No, not
No,
background.
no,
I'm talking
it's
about,
knowing him and seeing
let's
him.
say your kid, for example. You know the normal behavior of your kid, so you know when they're telling you the truth or when they're up to something, correct? How do you know when they're not? Their behavior is totally different, isn't it?
Correct.
The neighborhood, you need to know people in the neighborhood as folks, so that when things do happen that are sideways, you can tell the difference when things are happening that are going sideways and when they're not. But if we don't get to a point where we break that barrier, where I can speak to this young man and he says, hey, Lieutenant, what's happening with you? You still coaching, you doing this? If I can't do something for this young man, but I'm saying,
You have to interact to do that.
and that's
So how
how
do you gonna interact when you sit in the police car just sitting there waiting for mother to do something wrong? Just sitting there waiting.
Well, I have-
That's the interaction. Interaction is
And-
now walking
around and getting to know
Right.
people. And that's exactly
But
what
you
we're
go, I go
talking
there right
about.
now, I guarantee 2 cops sitting in the car just waiting for something to happen.
Okay.
And don't worry, we are preaching about that all the time, that we want cops out walking around the neighborhood and just getting to know folks, okay? We have a relationship with folks at Ella Hill where my officers are going over there, trying to volunteer, coach, box, do other things
And
with folks.
those officers who was there, they're not community officers, no way. The way with the hostility they got out their car with, you can tell them cats, their cats not no community officers, no way. They came out there with hostility, what I
What
mean?
you police got-
That was excessive force they came out
Say what?
with.
What you
You ain't in
police?
it.
Stop.
From what I was told, or the one I saw, Minkle, was,
The one who say I hit him in the eye.
or, no,
one-
Minkle, the little, when that time they responded to the house when your wife called on your son. You know who you're talking about, him.
Right now.
So that was one. Okay, and the other 2 housing officers that are regularly out there, not Barron and his partner, but the other 2 guys.
The one who told me was
Yeah.
You should better introduce me so
I have,
that people know when I'm coming.
I
You
know.
call me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So we're gonna be giving this to people out.
Nobody called, man, and the way you
Right,
did
good.
the rest of
Help
it,
everybody fill out the
I think that was
Good, that's what it is now.
Get the tapes, okay. So we gotta wait till Monday.
Somebody do his name.
But like I said,
One
I
said she
can't
had it
judge
out.
that, 'cause if you get a cut,
She said she had a camera, she had a film.
how do you approach somebody?
I don't know. You gotta
And-
go back
Red's
through.
got it.
I'm gonna go back through.
Red who?
Reds, Rosa. He was right there in front of him, filming.
Is that right? Okay.
So what you guys gotta do now, like I said, you know some people in the area, so what I know, if anybody has any information, get their name and their phone number.
Okay.
And when people come up to you and tell you, I seen everything,
Right.
make sure you jot that down.
Okay. Here's.
And say,
You also got a lawyer working on it for you.
I talked to the lawyer already.
He's about close, maybe they are.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend.
Went to 1720, that's why